The other option is that you can edit the table by going up to the table menu and selecting Table Options and Table Setup. This will give you another panel, and you can see I have a preview here. It's a little hard to see both my options and my table. You can see a little bit of it here, and I'm going to click that Preview button. But this allows me to add a border to my table, a color, a gap color, and really format the look of my table. So for example, it offers me to put fills on my table to make it easier to read. So I could say I want to fill in every other row. I go ahead and it asks me which row I want to be the first row. Whoops, that put it for 2 rows. I didn't want to put it for 2 rows. Next 1 row. So we'll leave it like that for now for the alternating color. And then we can tell it to skip the first row. There we go. So now, as I look at my preview, you can see that I've highlighted those rows to make them a little bit easier to read. There are a number of other options within those table options. I can set up the strokes between the rows. I can set up the strokes between the columns. And then I can have it treat the header and footer rows differently as well. You may notice that if the text that you have extends outside the table itself, you'll get this little red dot in the bottom corner. I'll zoom in so we can see it a little better. Here's this red dot. That means that there's overflow text on the cell. If I highlight everything that's in the cell, I can then delete it and get rid of this dot, but I may need to retype my text. So I'm going to go ahead, fit that page in the window again, and I'm going to enter that missing command. I can also add a little space around. We talked about this in the table column here, so I'm going to highlight all my cells. I already have just a little bit of space in that inset spacing, but I can show you, first of all, what it would look like to center. Here, let's make this table a little larger so that we can see a little better. So I'm going to select my type tool, I'm going to select my table, and now I'm going to hold the Shift key as I increase the size both horizontally and vertically. And I'll just get rid of this table down here. You'll notice that my table got cut off because my frame is a little too small. So I'm actually now with a selection key going to make my frame a little bigger so that I can view my whole table there. So now that those cells are a little bit larger, I'll go ahead and highlight them again, and we can just see quickly if we align them to the top of the cell, the center of the cell, or the bottom of the cell. I'm going to leave them in the center because I think that looks the best. And then I'm just going to add a little bit of distance to that right side. You can see they're all linked, so that actually changed them all simultaneously. I'm going to click my link button to get rid of that. Actually, I'm going to click the link button again, reduce the size a bit, and then unclick the link button so that I'm just increasing the size from the right. And you'll see that gives it a little bit more breathing room. So you really have a lot of flexibility in terms of editing your tables, in terms of size, the look and feel, and you can create a document that has your data laid out in a visually pleasing way.